Hello, everybody. We've got a few minutes before 6 o'clock for the 101 Cool Springs Boulevard neighborhood meeting. Just wanted to let everybody know that we are recording this meeting. It will be the public record on the City of Franklin's website. So just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. We're going to have a couple of presenters, but I'm going to ask everyone else to stay on mute. If you have a question, we'll do questions and answers at the end. And you're welcome to raise your hand or chat, and we can go ahead and get those questions answered for you. So we're going to give everybody else a few minutes to join us before we start. Hello, everyone. We've got a few more people joining us. So I'm just going to let everyone know that we are recording for a public meeting. This will be part of the public record and on the City of Franklin's website. We're going to wait just a couple of more minutes to let a few more people join us. And then we will start the 101 Cool Springs neighborhood meeting.
Ann and Joey, right now you are the only two that are a part of this meeting that are not a part of the development team. What would y'all like to do? Do you want us to wait to see if anyone else joins the meeting? And you're going to see the presentation tomorrow. Kelly, can you unmute?
Yep, I thought I was, let's see.
Yeah, we can wait a few more minutes. Alderman Peterson, I'll let you kind of weigh in on what, if you'd like to hear the presentation tonight or just wait till tomorrow. I would wait another at least 5-10 minutes, see if anyone else joins in.
I agree.
Okay, we're going to wait 5-6 minutes, however long you feel comfortable.
We've had a couple more people join us. I just wanted to remind everyone that we are recording the meeting as part of the public record, and wanted to let you know that it would be on the City of Franklin's website. We're going to wait just a few more minutes to make sure that we allow everyone time to join us. So we'll just hang out for a few more minutes and make sure that we can let everyone join our meeting if they'd like. This is the neighborhood meeting for the 101 Cool Springs development plan. It's for property at the corner of Cool Springs Boulevard and Matt Hatcher. So we're going to do our presentation for the neighborhood meeting, which will be the same presentation largely that you'll see at the joint conceptual workshop tomorrow.
Hi, Drew. This is Greg Gamble. You're the only name that I'm not familiar with. Are you a neighbor to this property?
No, this is Drew Renter from Reckler Equity.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sorry. I didn't see your last name. It threw me off there. Well, Ann and Joey, what would you like to do? Kelly, I think you may have to take people off mute. I'm not sure you have that enabled where they can take themselves off.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
here.
Let's
I
see.
think just for the sake of posting the video to the website, if you just want to go ahead and with your presentation. So if anyone wants to watch it later, they get an idea of what is being proposed.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Well, we'll go ahead and start then. So as I mentioned, this is the neighborhood meeting for the 101 Cool Springs Boulevard property. We have representatives here from our development team. They're going to walk you through the proposal. The presentation is going to start here in just a second. Our architect from 906 Studios, Meredith Booker, is going to lead the presentation. And we're also going to hear from a member of the development team, I believe probably Mitchell Reckler. And if there are any questions, feel free to chat, raise your hand, and we can take care of those at the end of the presentation. All right. Meredith, if you want to, or Mitchell, if you want to go ahead and start here.
Great. Well, thanks for everybody coming to our presentation today. We're very pleased to present to you 101 Cool Springs Boulevard. Go to the next slide. Our owner is Reckler Equity Partners, and I'll let Mitchell Reckler tell a little bit about who they are and some projects they've developed and what they do.
There we go. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. My name is Mitchell Reckler from Reckler Equity Partners. I am partners with my cousin Greg Reckler, who is not here, but with me tonight is Kristen McCabe, who is our Director of Planning, and Ben Reckler. So Reckler Equity Partners is based on Long Island in New York. We're a 65-year-old company started by our grandfather. Greg and I are the third generation, Ben the fourth. And we're the largest owner of commercial real estate on Long Island. We have approximately 7 million square feet. We hold our properties for the long term. We still own buildings built by our grandfather. And we started multifamily rental development 12 years ago, when after talking with our commercial tenants who told us about the tremendous need for high quality rental apartments on Long Island in order to attract a good educated workforce and to hold their workforce locally. Currently, we have 455 units with another 1,500 units in our pipeline here on Long Island. And the brand is called Gray Barn and is recognized as having the highest quality multifamily product in the region. We were looking to expand outside of our region, and after a lengthy search, decided to come to Franklin. We felt like there were, quite a few similarities between Franklin and Long Island with its highly educated workforce and excellent quality of life. I will hand this back to Meredith, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them afterwards.
Thanks, Mitchell. So our site, as we stated earlier, is at the intersection of Mack Hatcher Parkway and Cool Springs Boulevard, as you can see here. Envision Franklin currently has our site in a regional commerce area with up to 6 stories permitted. With the yellow you can see here, that's 6 stories that's permitted along Cool Springs Boulevard corridor, and that's where we're located. And that just states that we need to avoid large surface parking lots, includes architecture that fits within the context of the corridor and promotes regional commerce. And you can see here all the purple, that's the regional commerce area where we are located. Some zoning information about our site. It is zoned RC6, which is Regional Commerce 6. Our proposed zoning is to do a planned development, or PD. And our development program includes 178 multifamily units and almost 3,400 square feet of commercial space on our site. And the purpose of the RC6 district is intended to promote economic development through a diverse mix of high intensity uses, the building height of up to 6 stories. This is a little context of our site, of our current buildings that exist and some future developments. Here's our site at the corner, as we stated. Adjacent, there's a proposed future development of Haven at Cool Springs apartment or mixed use building, as well as Legends View. And then down Cool Springs Boulevard a little bit is the Optima development that's also proposed. So as you can see, this whole corner that's has a similar density and size. That's our site here. You can also see from this U shape, the gray represents where the apartments are located, and we've really pulled back on the corner. We'll get into this as we get further into the presentation, but this represents a courtyard that's really open at that intersection of Mac Hatcher and Cool Springs Boulevard. So this is a closer view of our master plan here of our site. As I stated earlier, this gray portion is 178 multifamily apartments. It sits above 2 levels of mostly below grade parking and overlooks this really expansive courtyard here that includes a community pool, outdoor large green lawn, fitness and club, as well as a community garden. And our building also includes almost 3,400 square feet of commercial space on the ground level. And again, I think this really illustrates how we pulled back the architecture here at the corner to preserve some of the views along Cool Springs and Mac Hatcher. This shows our mostly below grade parking. The entry is here adjacent to the medical office building. The commercial space sits here on the corner and with an adjacent leasing. We've got some parking located here that is shared parking that's really on our site that can serve the commercial, or people can drive into our garage, and there's 2 levels. And with the grading, like I said, it's mostly below grade. And this completely parks all of the units within this mostly hidden garage. This illustrates our building massing in context. You have Cool Springs Boulevard here, and Mac Hatcher. And as you can see, the future proposed developments of the Haven and the Legends really fit with the context of our proposed building as well, with the scale and massing. And you can see that, we've pulled back at the corner, and as well as providing kind of a porch on this upper level, which kind of pulls the scale down a little more as well, even further. The building was designed to the vernacular of Franklin, with gabled roofs and large porches with columns and bays. And, our owner, the Recklers, they came to this area because they really fell in love with the character of the local Franklin architecture. And they really wanted this building to have that local Franklin feel and appeal. So they really wanted the large porches, the gable forms. They wanted people to look at this and say, this really looks like the architecture of Franklin. Also, where this is located is really kind of a transition area between more of the historic downtown Franklin You know, our neighbor next door is Iron Horse. It has very traditional architecture. And then you move into the Cool Springs corridor, and it is more transitional, but we really feel like it's important to soften this corner with some more traditional architecture that really serves between, you know, that transition between historic downtown Franklin and Cool Springs. So this slide illustrates the context and the massing of how our building fits into the surrounding areas, and more particular, Roper's Knob. And as you can see from these two images, our building is relatively small in comparison. In fact, the finished floor elevation on top of our building is 784, and the top of Roper's Knob here is at 990 at its peak. So our building is over 200 feet shorter than Roper's Knob. Also, you can see with these slides how the scale and architecture really fits in with the proposed already approved projects adjacent. So it's just kind of continuing that same scale as it goes along Cool Springs Boulevard. And this slide further illustrates that point with a little closer view. So you can see the Haven being 6 stories, our building being 6 stories along this corridor, and really just kind of continuing that street edge in its urban context. And then this is showing our architecture of all sides of our building. As you can see here, the garage is really, you have 2 levels of below grade parking that's really concealed along Cool Springs and Mac Hatcher. And we have a slightly raised amenity courtyard, as you can see, with the pool and the green space and all of that at the corner that really opens it up. And you can also see that really Franklin architecture with large porches and shutters and bay windows, gable forms, and all of that that just exemplifies our local Franklin architecture here. And that concludes my presentation of 101 Cool Springs. Does anyone have any questions?
You should be able to take yourself off mute or raise your hand or chat if there's anyone that wants to ask anything. Otherwise, the project is going to be heard at the Joint Conceptual Workshop actually tomorrow, and we will be doing our initial submittal for this project development plan and rezoning request on Monday as it starts the process. All right, I'm not seeing any questions coming through on the chat. So we're going to go ahead and end the meeting here. Appreciate everyone coming out. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.